Yalimada to all friends.
Yalimada.
Halali Madad.
Yalimada.
Malali madad by ma.
Shukr Mola.
Malali madad. Shali madad. Naimat Saiba and Naveen Saiba.
Yalimada. With Mola's name, we will start our today's class in which we are studying this beautiful book, Book of Healing. And within the Book of Healing, we are on the part of Quranic healing. And the name of the chapter is Quranic Medicine and Taqwa. And if I'm not wrong, we are starting with point number 7.
Ji.
Bismillah.
So, point number 7. It is said, there is no heart except that it has 2 ears. In one of them is an angel who guides, and in the other a devil who insinuates. The latter commands to do bad deeds, the former prohibits. The Satan commands to commit sins, but the angel prevents to do so. Usul Kafi, number 3, pages 66 to 367. It is obvious that unless there is dirt in the heart of someone, Shaitan cannot whisper in it, nor can the angel inspire it unless there is purity of taqwa. In short, from the above explanation, it is obvious that it is man himself who by his own choice gives the opportunity to either the angel or the shaitan.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. This paragraph is so important to truly understand and realize that it is truly man himself. No matter what excuse we give, whatever we say, it is in reality our own choice. What do we choose? It is a human being himself who gives either the opportunity to angel or shaitan. We are the ones who open the gate. It is our choice which gate do we open. We have that power, have that control. Regardless of we accept, we realize or not. We do have this power and a choice. Very interestingly, this paragraph begins, there is no heart except that it has 2 ears. The heart, which is an organ within our body, it pumps the pure blood to give nourishment to our body so our body can function. Now, how does that heart has 2 ears? We are not talking about the physical heart which pumps, but the heart of our soul, meaning our inner world, meaning Alam-e-Shaksi. It is not these 2 ears we are talking about. These are not physical ears we are talking about, but the spiritual ears. Within our Batni ears, within our heart, within our mind, within our being, there is constant whispering, constant communication, constant enticing us to follow that voice. Shaitan always wants us to do bad deeds, always wants us to do what is not good. Whereas angel's voice would be telling us not to do bad deeds. Question is, who do we listen to? Who do we listen to? Now, very important that how come if we were to be in a group of people, there'll be some who will always be listening to angels, and there'll be some who will say, oh, I find it so difficult, and I don't know why, I don't understand what is happening. Why do I keep repeating the same patterns of behavior? Why do I do bad? I don't understand that. How come we all are people, we all are humans, but the action we follow is different? Very interestingly, It is human himself or herself, the person itself, they choose. Now, how do they make that choice? What makes them decide to choose this and not that? Very interestingly, if there is already impurity in the heart, if there is already doubts, there is already habit of gibbat, gossip, cheating, lying, all those sinnings, if it is already present, meaning the house is already dirty. Dirty house will attract more dirt. Now, someone would say, everybody is sinful. And I would say, yes, I agree with you. Then, a mu'min is the one who always seeks forgiveness of the sins. Every time when a mu'min sins, as soon as he or she realizes, says Toba Toba, seeks forgiveness. Meaning, yes, there was a dirt. Somehow the dirt came into the house, but because of the true realization, Giryazari seeking forgiveness, the heart was cleaned up. This house is more cleaner in comparison to the house where there is no realization that there is dirt. There's a very beautiful example that if we were to take the example of a mosquito will always sit in the dirt, always get attracted to the dirt. That would be the example of a human whose heart is already full of dirt. When there is dirt, attraction is towards dirt. When there is sins, attraction is towards sinning. But then when we look at butterfly always sits on the flowers. They both are flying beings, butterfly and mosquito. Why? The choice is different. That is the example in the universe, but we are relating it, applying it to the heart of a moment who has this power to make that choice. So if that moment is having active faith, what does that active faith means? Active faith means there is progress, there is action. That moment is salik, meaning there is a desire to elevate. There is a desire to seek forgiveness. There is always a critical checkup of own self. Am I sinning? Am I doing the right thing? What am I thinking? What am I saying? What am I doing? Constant checkup is there upon our being. There's a constant checkup within ourselves on our being. What am I doing? When that kind of check is constantly going on, therefore, it is important to know that that moment will realize immediately when they will sin and they'll seek forgiveness. That is the example that a moment as Salik will have the tendency to listen to the angels. A Mu'min as Salik will have the tendency to listen to the angels. Why? Because they are working hard towards keeping their heart pure. When they are keeping the heart clean, their thoughts clean, the angel will get strengthened, powerful, and his voice will become louder. And we will sense or hear his voice very clearly. And because the desire is to become a Mu'min as Salik, easily we will bend towards the angel. In comparison to those who may call themselves Mu'min, but they are not Mu'min as Salikin. They're happy where they are. When they're happy where they are, then it is very easy for Shaitan to trap them. And Shaitan consistently keeps trapping them, and we would hear these people saying, "Oh, I don't know what is happening." No, we do know what is happening. It can never be that we do not know. Why we don't know? Because our mind is filled with useless thoughts. It is so important to become silent, to become quiet and reflect. What am I thinking? Having these eyes and ears upon our own being to check ourselves where we are making the mistake. So there is no heart except that it has two ears. So each one of us has that heart, and that heart has two ears. It is upon us which ear we are listening to. जी.
Point number 8. Squandering is against the principle of taqwa, for in it the devils get a chance to participate, which gives birth to many external and internal diseases. As God says, and give the kinsman his right, and the needy and the traveller, and never squander in wantonness. Indeed, the squanderers are brothers of the devils. Surah 17, Ayat 26-27. It is an extremely bad act to squander wealth instead of paying the dues, and thus to enter the brotherhood of the devils. You know that devils are of mankind and also of jinn. Surah 6, Ayat 112. Nevertheless, it should be remembered that the former are more dangerous, for they are a concrete force, while the latter are their shadows.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. So what squandering means wasting, especially wasting of money. It could be wasting of time. The Quranic reference is talking about money, so let's focus on the money first. Wasting of money is against the principle of taqwa. Had we ever imagined that taqwa, meaning pakizgi, purity, also involves how do we spend our money? Now, none of us will say that we waste our money. None of us will say that. But then, this book, which is full of ta'wil, this Quranic verse also says about it that wealth is being squandered. How are we wasting our money? And I don't need to go far. I will just quote Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farman. Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah has said that Ismaili, in Ismaili Tariqa, the only valid tradition in wedding is the nikah ceremony. All else which we see in nikah, in wedding, it is waste of money. Imam's farman is that only nikah is the correct tradition, and with nikah definitely we will have a food or meal together as a family because we are celebrating a happy occasion. So we would eat. Nikah is once, eating is once. All other than that is actually wasting money. Quran says it, Farman says it, and we are reading it here. And today, the way we are seeing how Jamaat and humanity are in need of resources. If we are someone who are wasting money like that, we are going against the principle of taqwa. So this was one example. Each one of us has to judge what do we need and what do we desire, and how much do we go behind the desire. Desires, worldly desire, are originated from शैतान. जी, गुजराती में भी बात करेंगे. આ પોઈન્ટના અંદર વેસ્ટની વાત કરેલી છે કે કેવી રીતે માણસો પૈસાનો વેડફે છે, પૈસાને વેડફે છે. અને નાચીસે મિસાલ આપી કે ઇમામ સુલતાન મોહમ્મદ શાહનું ફરમાન છે કે આપણા જમાતના અંદર, આપણી ટ્રેડિશન અંદર ખાલી નિકાહ જે સેરેમની છે એ જ એક વેલિડ છે. એના બજાય જેટલી બીજી સેરેમની છે એ બધી આપણા તરીકાનું પાર્ટ નથી. અને આપણે જોઈએ છીએ કેવી રીતે પૈસા વેડફાવવામાં આવે છે. અને આ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે કે આપણે પોતે બધે જાણીએ છીએ કે કેવી રીતે આપણે પૈસા પોતાની ખાહિશના પાછળ નાખીએ છીએ કે પોતાની જરૂરતના પાછળ નાખીએ છીએ. અને જમાતના અંદર આજના ટાઈમના અંદર કેટલી પૈસાની કટોકટી છે, કેટલી મુશ્કેલાત છે. તો આપણે પૈસા અગર આપણા પાસે હોય તો આપણે એને કેવી રીતે વાપરીએ છીએ એ બી તકવાના અંદર આવે છે. The reason we are studying this is part of taqwa, that how do we spend our money. Now, whenever money is mentioned and we are paying our dues or not, we would relate it to our dason. That's the first part. But even after paying the dason, we are obliged to be not wasting our money. Because when we waste money, we are saying that we are not looking at our brothers and sisters who are poorer, who are in need of food or clothes or school fees, and we will spend money because that's what we desire. And that is not acceptable. It is not part of taqwa. It is against the principle of taqwa. And when we go against the principle of taqwa, meaning we are listening to shaitan, because that's what shaitan wants us to do, not to be on taqwa. When we do follow these desires of wasting money, following the shaitan, what happens? In our heart, we are opening our doors of our heart, of our being, for different kinds of diseases. Whenever a moment is going after desires, we do know that carnal soul is becoming more powerful and stronger. Therefore, it is important to realize that if we are those mu'min salikin seeking the health of our soul and our health, physical health, all that actually depends how we are observing taqwa. It is said in Quran chapter 17 verse 26 and 27 that to give the kinsmen, those who are our Jamaat, our humanity, give them their need, what they're needing. There are travelers, there are whoever is in need, whatever we can do. It is not we are saying that don't live in the house, don't have a car, don't spend money on yourself. Nobody is saying that. But do not blindly go after your desires. Do not be doing things dekha dekhi. Sabka khaya hai to bhi khilana padega na. Normally I hear that as an excuse. So it is very important that we do need to follow the farman and these hidayat to keep taqwa. And very interestingly, the words which are being used here, it says, never squander in wantonness, recklessness. Whenever we waste money, it is truly recklessness, as if we don't care. You know, we hear this word reckless driving. Don't drive recklessly, you'll end up in accident. Similarly, when we are reckless in our lives and with our resources, with our thoughts, we will end up in harming our soul and our intellect. We will invite all kinds of diseases to come into our being. Therefore, it is very important to first pay our dues, and after that, we have excess wealth. We should not waste that money. And then, very interestingly, in chapter 6, verse 112, it says that devils are of mankind and also of jinn. We have all heard that shaitan is jinni and shaitan is insi. And very interestingly, it is being emphasized in this paragraph that insi, those who are humans but behaving like shaitan, there is no label written in front of them for us to identify that they are coming in our life, around us, with us, but they are behaving like shaitan because we can't see people's heart. It is only the Mu'min and Salik with the intellect of Mu'min and Salik, with the knowledge, they'll be able to identify who is saying what, who has become the army of shaitan and enticing us to become the part of the shaitan's army. When we talk of jinni, those are shadows, those which come in our heart. They are not that powerful for Mu'min and Salih. Why? Because Mu'min and Salih's heart is with remembrance. When there is remembrance, when there is zikr, shaitan is weak. So what does shaitan do? He comes in a being to talk to us, to say, you got to do that. How would the bijasun kese? આપણે આમ કરશું તો bijasun kese? શું મોઢું દેખાડશું બધાને? Comments like that to change the mind and heart to fit in the society. And what happens? Then we forget about taqwa and we end up in wasting money. So taqwa is also not be spending money mindlessly, not following the desires, do not going after what others did, so we need to do that too. A Mu'min Salik is the one who is walking on the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim with the desire of becoming close to the Nur of the Imam. For that Mu'min Salik, every thought, every action has to be based on the choice. Now, here squander also relates to time. हमें वक्त ज़ाया नहीं करना चाहिए. Do we waste time? How do we waste time? Our time is our earning, our breaths on this physical universe. How are we spending our time? And if we are not being mindful how we are spending our time, automatically we are becoming the army of shaitan. Now, there are some people who say they have no time to study because they've been working and they've been doing zikr and they've been doing ilmi classes, and then they're saying, I'm so sorry, there is no time. I feel guilty. That is the habit of Mu'min Salik because they want their time to be more so they can do more riyazat or ibadat. That is the habit of Mu'minin. But then there are those who have to have 8 to 10 hours of sleep, who have to have watch some TV and do this and do that, meaning time is being wasted. When the time, which is a valuable resource for us, because if our time is finished, we have no means of earning anything, not for our soul, not for our body. So those who are blessed with wealth, and each one of us is blessed with time. Our time is very important. Wasting time is actually not having taqwa. Remember, taqwa is the chief of the ethics, and it is within our ethics to devote time to the service of Jamaat, to devote time for the betterment of humanity. How are we spending our time and how are we spending our money also comes in the category of taqwa. And 99% of the time, when we blame shaitan, shaitan is not that powerful. It is the insi, friends and families who will come and tell us things, and we will, if we don't pay attention, if we don't have knowledge, we may not realize how the jinni shaitan comes in the shape of a human and entices us to go wrong path. So Momin Sali keeps his eyes and ears always open. अपना મોમિન હોય છે એ પોતાના આંખ અને કાનને હંમેશા ખુલ્લો રાખે છે. પોતાના પૈસા કે પોતાના ટાઈમની બહુ જ રખવાળ સંભાળ રાખે છે કે શૈતાનની બાજીમાં ન આવી જાય. જી.
Point number 9. It is necessary to eat and drink moderately in order to maintain taqwa. Otherwise, many diseases occur due to gluttony, such as polyphagia, which in turn gives birth to many other diseases. Therefore, the wise Quran, in its unique way, says, "And eat and drink, but be not prodigal. Indeed, He, God, does not love the prodigals." Surah 7, Ayat 31. Similarly, it is said in a noble hadith of the Prophet, man has filled no worse vessel than the stomach. A few morsels are enough for the son of Adam to keep him alive. Nonetheless, if it is required to eat more than that, then he should fill 1/3 of it with food, 1/3 he should keep for water, and 1/3 for breathing. Trimidi number 2, page 50.
Subhanallah, very important point. Very important point. Very simple though. That how do we eat? That is also a practice of taqwa. A Mu'min Salik never eats full tummy. Never. Eating full tummy, it's a sign of a diseased physical body and soul. And very interestingly, very beautifully, there's a hadith being quoted here that Man has filled no worse vessel than the stomach. The hadith of Prophet is that the worst part a man can do for himself or herself, a person can do to himself or herself, is to fill up the stomach. And the guidance here being given from Trimidi is that when we eat, we should eat just 1/3 of our stomach, 33% remaining for water, and 33% remaining for breathing, meaning less than the half of our tummy we got to eat. Not just saying that we should never be full, but not even eat half the amount we like to eat. We should not be doing that. That is the habit of a Momin Salih. તમે સાંભળ્યું હશે માણસો એમ કહેતા હશે કે એટલું ખાઈ લીધું હવે તો સાંસ બી નથી લેવાતો. There are people like that they ate so much that they can't breathe. And it is very beautifully being said that if we were to divide our stomach in a circle, 33% of food, 33% of water, and 33% for breathing, meaning our breathing also requires space in our tummy. And for Momin Salik, what is happening with the breathing? Remembrance, zikr. We are purifying our being by doing the zikr. So with the food, when we breathe and it is empty, there is hunger, then the zikr is remembered. Otherwise, zikr is forgotten very easily. Very easily, zikr is forgotten. So with the zikr, we are able to fill our tummy not with food, but with the zikr. Whose habit is that? These are habits of angels. Angels' food and water is remembrance. A Momin Salik is the one whose 1/3 of the tummy is filled with zikr. How beautiful that concept is. And we all know, our peers have taught us, right? Khaso pet bharine avse nindra pachi pashtaso. That we are not supposed to eat full stomach. Because if we eat full stomach, what will happen? We'll sleep. Even someone would say, oh, I eat, but I do wake up at 4 o'clock. No, we are not talking about waking up 4 o'clock. We are talking about the time in between until 4 o'clock. A Momin Salik sleep is also very light sleepers. Because as soon as they turn, they would have zikr going on. They would have zikr going on. Even when they turn the sides, the realization is that there is a zikr going on. They can't go to sleep because tummy is hungry. There is a zikr going on. The worry is not why my tummy is hungry. There is a zikr going on. So constantly there is a zikr going on, and that is what is meant. That fill 1/3 of the tummy with breaths, which is actually zikr, and 1/3 with water. 1/3 is only the food. And food is the root of so many diseases, so many diseases. Those who want to be walking on the path of taqwa, they got to be very careful what they put in their body. So limited eating is extremely important. And Quran says, and eat and drink, but not be prodigal. Meaning, the word prodigal again means kind of reckless. Don't be reckless. Indeed, Allah does not love those who overeat, who are prodigal, who are being reckless in how they're supposed to take care of themselves. Meaning, Iman ki salamati. How will it come when we are doing zikr in abundance? If we are not doing zikr in abundance, definitely we will be eating a lot and we'll be sleeping a lot. મોમિનની આદત નથી હોતી કે વધારે ખાય ને વધારે સૂવે. મોમિન જે છે એ હંમેશા પોતાને યાદગીરીમાં રાખે છે. ખાવા ટાણ જ્યારે બેઠે છે ત્યારે બી ધ્યાનથી ખાવાનું ખાય છે કે કાંઈક વધારે ન ખાઈ લો. કેમ કે વધારે ખાશું પછી આવશે નિંદ્રા ને પછી પછતાશું. So I hope that this beautiful point we have understood. Ji.
Point number 10. No ibadat of Islam is devoid of medical wisdom and benefit. Take, for instance, fasting of the month of Ramadan, that it is the best means of the purification of heart and the dissolving of carnal soul. The purpose of this taqwa, so that it may enable a mu'min to progress towards the desired destination. As God says, O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, that due to which gradually you may attain taqwa. Surah 2, Ayat 183.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. So in this Quranic verse 2 by 183, those who are believers, those who are imandar, they are being told that you do need to fast. Now, here I do need to pause and explain that in Ismaili Tariqa, Imam has said, Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, he has told us that we got to fast every day of every month for the whole year. And his definition of fasting for us, which is must, is actually taqwa. It's actually taqwa. Imam says that being Ismailis, we have to fast every day. We are not supposed to fast with the food the way Shariati would fast. But then there are Mominins who would fast anytime, every time, whenever they desire to do more riyazat. They would fast. So it is a choice for a Momin to fast whenever they are in the niyat of suppressing or killing their carnal souls. The Shariati fast, which is being done in the Ramzan, it has been uplifted for Ismaili Jamaat by Imam, and we follow the Hidayat of Imam. So we don't fast in Shariati month, but we do fast every day of every month, and that fasting is of taqwa. And Imam Hazimam has said that you are my ambassadors. So our taqwa is actually a witness to others to see how we are the followers of Imam. Our Imam is our guide who teaches us to how to maintain taqwa, how to be pious, living our life with others, smileys or non-smileys. They would see and they would say, how come you are so different, caring and positive, regardless of who you are with? And that is due to the teaching of taqwa which is being given to us. So Imam has used the word fasting, that we should fast 360 days in a year, right? Now, here with the Quranic reference, we are being told about fasting. Remember, this book was written for Muslims. So it mentions fasting. Fasting is an action of riyazat, of practice to kill our carnal soul, to refrain from eating so the carnal soul becomes weaker. જ્યારે આપણે ખાવાનું ખાઈ છે તો આપણી જે અંદરનું જે શૈતાન છે, નફસે અમારા છે, બહુ સ્ટ્રોંગ થઈ જાય છે. એને મારવા માટે, એને કમજોર કરવા માટે આપણે રોઝા રાખવા જોઈએ. કોણ સા રોઝા? તકવાના રોઝા. ખોટું ન બોલવાનું, ગીબત નહીં કરવાની, હસદ નહીં કરવાની. પણ જ્યારે આપણું મન થાય કે આપણે ખાવાનું બી ઇમામના ઇશ્કમાં નથી ખાવાનું, તો ઇટ્સ ઓકે છે, કરવું જોઈએ, સારી વાત છે. મોમિન જે છે 40 દિવસના બી રોઝા રાખી શકે છે. શરીયતની રોઝાની વાત નથી કરતા, આ પોતાની મરજીથી. ઇનફેક્ટ આજકાલના જમાનાના અંદર જેવી રીતે ઇન્ટરમિટન્ટ ફાસ્ટિંગની એક કોન્સેપ્ટ આવી ગયું છે કે જે લોકો ઇન્ટરમિટન્ટ ફાસ્ટિંગ કરે છે એ લોકોની ફિઝિકલ હેલ્થ સારી રહે છે. આ જે સાયન્સે ઇજાદ કરી છે, પણ અગર આપણે ઇમામ સુલતાન મોહમ્મદ શાહના ફરમાન જોઈએ, આપણા પૈગંબરની હદીસો જોઈએ, તો એ લોકો આપણે ટીચ કરીને ગયા છે. આપણા પાસે તો આ તાલીમાત હતી, આ કોઈ નવી વાત નથી. For us, it is not a new concept to hear about intermittent fasting. We've been taught that. It's just that we get impressed when the worldly things and worldly concepts or scientists tell these things to us, and we undermine what our Imam or our Prophet has told us. We knew about this concept, and we knew why do we need to fast intermittently. Because not just to keep our physical health, our objective is physical, spiritual, intellectual health. Why do we want to do that? So we can weaken our carnal soul and then kill the carnal soul. Because it is the carnal soul which has made us so prone to be listening to shaitan, so weak and not having the power of making the choice. It is all due to the carnal soul, the desires of carnal soul. And these desires are so vast. It is just not related to eating or sleeping. It is related to me, I. Everybody should be talking about me, praising me. It should be all mine. It's I, मैं करता हो ही गया, मैं होता ना लागे वाह. Our peer has taught us. So it is very broad concept to understand what does the nafs amara is about. When we fast with our niyat to kill the carnal soul, any day of any month we can fast if we want to. Intermittent fasting teaches us to skip meals. If a Mu'min Salik is skipping meals with the niyat of killing the carnal soul, though they are intermittently fasting, but the niyat is killing the carnal soul, it is much more elevated than simply doing the intermittent fasting. A Mu'min actions are such, with such a good niyat, that every action rewards them multiplied times. So Momin progresses towards the desired destination. મોમીની ખ્વાહિશ શું હોય છે? ઇમામના કરીબ જાય. તો જી બી હિદાયત, જી બી ટીચિંગ આપણા પાસે છે, મેડિકલી આપણે દેવામાં આવી છે. આપણા મઝહબના અંદર આપણે એ જ હિદાયતને આપણા મઝહબે આપણે સમજાવેલી છે અને જ્યારે આપણે સમજીને કરીએ છીએ તો મેડિકલી આપણા ડોક્ટર બી ખુશ રહેશે, પણ આપણો ઇમામ બી આપણાથી રાજી થશે અને આપણે ઇમામથી વધારે ને વધારે નજદીક થશું. તો આ છે એક મોમિના સાલિકના માટે હિદાયત ચેપ્ટર 2 વર્સ 183 માં દીધેલી કે તમે જે છે બરાબર પોતાને રોઝામાં રાખો. અને આપણે વાત કરી હતી કે રોઝા જ્યારે આપણે વાત કરીએ છીએ તો ઓછું ખાવું, ઓછું સૂવું, ઓછું બોલવું, આ બધું રોઝાના અંદર આવે છે. કેમ? મકસદ શું છે કે પોતાની નફ્સે અમ્મારાને મારવું છે, એને કમજોર કરવાનું છે, તો આપણે વધારે ને વધારે ઈમાનની મજબૂતીમાં આગળ વધી શકીએ. જી.
Point number 11. Countless goals are attained by fulfilling the rules of Islam, but it has always been the law of divine wisdom to explain only the supreme goal and to try the people in the knowledge and recognition of subsidiary goals and benefits, so that, along with the maturity of faith, they may reflect on the verses of the Quran. For the creation and progress of the intellect is not possible without this blessed and wisdom-filled labor and exercise. As it is mentioned in verse Surah 90, Ayat 4, indeed, we have created man in toil. By toil in this wisdom-filled verse is meant the struggle for knowledge and recognition in which lies human perfection.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. I think this is the answer to all what we've been discussing, kind of. Very beautifully in chapter 90, verse 4, it says, Indeed, we have created men in toil. हमने इंसान को सख्त मेहनत के लिए पैदा किया है. Why? Why Allah had to give us such a hardship? The ta'wil of the hardship is so we would work hard to have knowledge and the recognition. Imam ki shanakt ke liye. Now, when we take literally the hardship, people say, oh, I have young kids, I have work, I have to do this, I have to do that. The whole humanity, every human being goes through this hardship. Then what is the hardship for a Mu'min? Mu'min also lives in the physical world, goes to work, has family, and does everything which any other person does. So why Allah would talk about hardship? Meaning the ta'wil is different. Hardship is for all the humans, regardless of wherever, whoever they are. But for Mu'min, the ta'wil tells him that a Mu'min and Salik has to seek the knowledge. Along with what humanity goes through. We look at everybody, they have to live life, go to work, take care of the family. A Mu'min and Salik has to do that too. But on top of that, a Mu'min and Salik has to seek knowledge, has to have the recognition. That is Mu'min's riyazat. That is Mu'min's qurbani. Otherwise, what is the difference between humanity and a Mu'min? There's no difference. Those who have more rewards, right? जिसके पास इनाम ज़्यादा होता है. Those who have જેના પાસે વધારે ઇનામ હોય, વધારે જેના પાસે સારા સારા ફળ ફ્રૂટ હોય, એના પર જિમ્મેદારી પણ વધારે હોય. આપણા સાથે ઇમામ છે, ઇમામની દુઆશિશ છે, આપણી જિમ્મેદારી પણ વધારે છે. એ શું જિમ્મેદારી છે કે આપણે ઇલ્મ હાસિલ કરવાનું છે અને ઇમામની શનાખ્ત કરવાની છે. શું કામ હે? તો ઇન્સાન જે છે એ ઇમામના સાથે એક થઈ જાય. ઇમામ જે છે ને એને કહેવાય ઇન્સાન કામિલ, પરફેક્ટ હ્યુમન. જે લોકો પોતાને જાતને ફના કરીને ઇમામના સાથે એક થઈ જાય છે એ લોકો પણ કામિલ બની જાય છે. જે લોકો પોતાને ઇમામમાં ફના કરી નાખે છે એ લોકો પણ કામિલ બની જાય છે. એ કામિલિયત, એ પરફેક્શન કેવી રીતે આવે? જ્યારે મોમિને સાલિક પોતાને એવી હાર્ડશિપમાંથી ગુજારે છે. તો આ છે એક ઇન્સાન અને મોમિનનો ફરક. મોમિન is always taking riyazat or hardship willingly, happily. Why? So they can become one with that perfect human, which is Imam of the time. No one else is perfect. In the religion of Islam, there are so many goals. Why those goals have been kept by Allah for us? So we can achieve that supreme goal. And what is that? To recognize the Imam, to get the benefit of active, progressive Iman. And beautifully it says, along with the maturity of faith. Now that term tells us that Iman can be immature too. We had heard about blind faith, and then there's a faith with knowledge and wisdom. Iman can also be immature. But with time, with active faith, with progressive faith, with working hard, riyazat or ibadat, they have this mature faith. And that's how we can reflect on Quranic verses and understand the ta'wil. And that verse is 90/4. That Allah has created all the humans and blessed them with this desire, this ability to live progressively, to find better in everything. And that progression from the Stone Age to today, humans have achieved by using their intellect. It cannot be possible without the intellect. But is the benefit of having intellect is limited to physical progress? No. The objective of us getting the intellect is to seek that knowledge so we can recognize the Imam of the time. How beautifully it is explained to us and how it is all coming together, that this is the reason we are here and understanding Taqwa. Meaning the purpose of our life is Taqwa. And through that Taqwa, meaning taking upon that riyazat to become pure, how? By seeking knowledge, by becoming Imam Shanas, having the recognition of Imam, so we can become that perfect human. Perfect is only Imam, but we will become one with the Imam. How beautiful is our reward. Subhanallah, shukranillah, alhamdulillah. Should we stop here? Ji Naveen Sahaba.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. It is amazing when we hear these things. It's like, it is so important for us to know, to understand taqwa, we need to understand shaitan ki bazi. So I was thinking about it, re-listening to the lectures of shaitan ki bazi, so we are able to catch these traps before we come across them and fall into those traps. So, shukran lillah walhamdulillah. A wonderful session. Friends, if you have any questions, you can come forward.
याली मदद फरमा
Wala ali madad.
फरमा ये 11 पॉइंट में जो है ना कि countless goals are attained by fulfilling the rules of Islam, but it has always been the law of divine wisdom to explain only the supreme goal and to try the people in the knowledge and recognition of subsidiary. ये पूरा नहीं समझ आया भाई माँ मुझे.
ऑलराइट, तो इसका जो मतलब है वो ये है कि जैसे शुरू से हमें ये समझाया जा रहा है तकवा के अंदर कि इफ वी वर टू हैव तकवा वी विल अचीव फिजिकल हेल्थ। ठीक है, कम खाना खाओ तो आप बीमार नहीं पड़ोगे, ये एक मोटिवेशन है ना कि आप कम खाएं तो आप फिजिकली बीमार नहीं पड़ेंगे। तो किसी के लिए कम खाना इसलिए होगा कि भाई मैं तो तकवा कर रहा हूँ, मैं तो हिदायत पे अमल कर रहा हूँ, तो ये भी एक गोल है। माना कि बहुत सारे गोल्स एक इंसान को दिए गए हैं इस्लाम मजहब में, राइट, लेकिन जो सबसे सुप्रीम जो गोल है ना, इसके अंदर जो सुप्रीम गोल है वो हमें जब हम खुदा की हिकमत डिवाइन विजडम को जब समझते हैं, उस समझ से हमें समझ आता है कि हकीकत के अंदर इंसानों को जो है तमाम इन एक्शंस के थ्रू एक ही चीज सिखाई जा रही है, वो ये कि इल्म हासिल करो। जो लोग इल्म हासिल करेंगे ना उन्हीं को पता चलेगा कि कम खाना खाना, वरना तो डॉक्टर रोज बोलता है, डॉक्टर की बात कौन मानता है। लेकिन जो मजहबी इल्म को हासिल करेगा वो जानेगा कि जो फिजिकल डॉक्टर बोलता है वो तो खुदा ने मुझे पहले ही बोल दिया है। चूंकि उस मोमिन का एक ख्वाहिश मोमिन सालिक बनने की होगी तो वो कम खाएगा, तो फिजिकली बीमार भी नहीं पड़ेगा। लेकिन मोमिन सालिक इल्म से जानता है कि हकीकत ये नहीं है कि मुझे सिर्फ फिजिकली बीमार नहीं पड़ना है, हकीकत ये है कि मुझे इल्म और मारिफत को पाना है। किसकी मारिफत की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे? इमाम की मारिफत की बात हो रही है। तो मकसद ये हुआ कि जो इतने सारे हम पॉइंट्स हमने पढ़े तकवा के बारे में, अलग अलग बातें पढ़ी हमने, ऐसा लगता है कि हर चीज से हमारा तकवा होगा, शैतान की बाजी में नहीं आना है, खाना कम खाना है, कम सोना है, या जो है जो हमने लास्ट क्लास में बात की कि अपने एथिक्स को अच्छा रखना है। तमाम पॉइंट्स को जब हम देखते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है कि ये हिदायत दी जा रही है कि हमको एक अच्छा इंसान बनना है। टू बिकम अ गुड ह्यूमन दैट इज एन एक्सपेक्टेशन फ्रॉम एवरीबडी रिगार्डलेस ऑफ मुस्लिम और नॉन मुस्लिम। एक क्रिश्चियन से भी बात करेंगे, एक हिंदू से भी बात करेंगे, दे विल से नो वी वांट टू बिकम अ गुड ह्यूमन, गुड नेबर। बट हियर वी आर बीइंग टोल्ड कि ये तमाम चीजें हमें इसलिए सिखाई जा रही है कि हम अल्टीमेट सुप्रीम गोल को पहचानें। वो सुप्रीम गोल क्या है? इमाम की मारिफत को हासिल करना। जो इल्म हासिल करेंगे ही नहीं, वो जो अलग अलग इतने सारे गोल्स जो दिए उनको समझेंगे ही नहीं, तो वो सबसे ऊंचा गोल है उसको तो पा ही नहीं सकेंगे। इसकी एक आसान मिसाल है, ठीक है? आसान मिसाल ये होगी कि जब बचपन में माँ बाप जमात खाने लेके जाते हैं, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या होता है कि बच्चे जमात खाने पहुंच जाए। जमात खाने जाके बच्चा सो जाता है या खेलता है, इट डजंट मैटर, जमात खाने तो पहुंच गया ना। जो तालीम माँ बाप को देनी थी कि जमात खाने पहुंच जाओ, कुछ भी करना है, छोटा सा गोल था कि जमात खाने पहुंच जाओ, फिर भले खेल रहे हैं या सो गए हैं या खेल रहे हैं या ड्राइंग करें, बच्चे ड्रॉ करते हैं, वॉट एवर दे डू, ध्यान तो दुआ में तस्वीर में नहीं होता है। आदत पड़ी कि जमात खाने जाना है। जब वो बच्चा बड़ा होता है और खुद से जब सोचता है, समझता है व्हाई एम आई गोइंग टू जमात खाना, तब वो उसके हायर गोल को समझता है कि मुझे इबादत करनी है, मुझे इमाम के नूर के करीब होना है। तब जाके वो कहता है मुझे इसमें आज़म लेना है। वो अपने ऊपर और रियाजत लेता है कि भाई मुझे नींद से जागना, इबादत करनी है। जब वो इबादत करता है, ट्रूली सच्चाई से, सिंसेरिटी से इबादत करता है, इमाम की रहमत आती है, उसके दिल के अंदर खुद ब खुद सवालात आते हैं, दिल जो है वो इल्म की तरफ रागिब होता है, ख्वाहिश आती है, खुद ब खुद उसके दिल के अंदर इमाम की रोशनी आती है कि मुझे इल्म हासिल करना है। क्यों? सुप्रीम जो गोल है वो है इमाम की मारिफत। तो ये वाली बात जो है ये बताई जा रही है कि यूं तो बहुत सारे रूल्स गोल सिखाए जा रहे हैं कि तुम अटेन करो, तुम उसको अचीव करो, लेकिन मकसद पीछे तमाम गोल्स के एक ही है, वो ये कि हमको इमाम की मारिफत चाहिए। हाँ, छोटे छोटे गोल्स, इनके छोटे छोटे फायदे भी हैं, बेनिफिट्स हो रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं नहीं हो रहे हैं, लेकिन जैसे जैसे छोटे छोटे गोल्स जब अचीव करते हैं, ईमान में मेच्योरिटी आती है। जब ईमान में मेच्योरिटी आती है तो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता हमें समझ आता है, कुरान की जो ये वर्ड्स है 90/4, कि इंसान को हमने सख्ती में पैदा किया है, हार्डशिप में पैदा किया है। तो वो हार्डशिप क्या है? तावीर इसकी ये है कि अपने ऊपर रियाजत और सख्ती लेके हम इमाम की मारिफत को पहुंचे। वरना जमात खाने तो बहुत सारे लोग जाते हैं, जमात इस्माइली अंदर बहुत सारे लोग जाते हैं, इल्म के लिए बहुत ही कम लोग मेहनत करते हैं। कि क्लासेस में सुनने के लिए बहुत लोग आ जाएंगे, अच्छा लगता है, 1 घंटा अच्छा गुजरता है, लेकिन इस पे गौर और अमल कुछ ही लोग करेंगे। तो हर लेवल पे एक फिल्टरिंग होती है, कैटेगराइजेशन होती है, लोग कम होते जाते हैं, लेकिन जो हकीकत के अंदर जो मारिफत को पाते हैं वो बहुत ही थोड़े होते हैं। क्यों? कि जो हार्डशिप दी गई है हमें, उस हार्डशिप पे कायम रह के जो रियाजत और इबादत, इल्म और अमल करना है, तकवा करना ना, दिस इज द वे वी स्टडी तकवा। कोई छोटा कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है तकवा। तकवा बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, पाकीज़गी बहुत डिफिकल्ट है। तमाम आस्पेक्ट से एक इंसान को अपना वक्त ज़ाया नहीं करना है, अपने पैसे को ज़ाया नहीं करना है, क्योंकि ये भी तो तकवा है। खाना कम खाना है, वो भी तकवा है। सोना कम है, वो भी तकवा है। बोलना कम है, वो भी तकवा है। तो तकवा में तो ऐसा लगता है कि सारी जिंदगी तकवा हो गई। हकीकत में यही तो तकवा है, ताकि हम ईमान की मारिफत को पहुंचे। छोटी छोटी चीजें करेंगे, ईमान बढ़ता जाएगा until we will say that yes, we are progressing rapidly in the recognition of Imam. जी
थैंक यू यालिमत, शुक्र मोला मैम।
सुभान अल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह।
तो वो लास्ट लाइन अब समझ आ गई मैम कि स्ट्रगल फॉर नॉलेज एंड रिकॉग्निशन इन विच लाइज ह्यूमन परफेक्शन।
जी
शुक्र,
बिल्कुल,
थैंक
शुक्र मौला। Yeah, it helps when you ask questions. It helps to speak in different languages and make it more simpler. आपने पूछा तो एक और अच्छी मिसाल याद आई, right? It helps when you ask questions. जी
You know, it's like पीर साहब का गिनान है, कहो रे जीव तमें किस कारण आया। Another beautiful example is किस गरज से आ गए हो इस जहान में याद है, मारिफत मकसूद कुल्ली है न भूलो साथियों.
subhanallah,
So
subhanallah.
thank you.
So in English, let
Those
me say what she just said, that why have we come to this world? Friends, remember, the only purpose, the only objective is recognition of Imam. सिर्फ हम शनाख्त के लिए आए, हकीकी शनाख्त के लिए, और कोई मकसद ही नहीं है। हमारा मकसद ये नहीं था that we would find work or we would have a house or we would have a family or we would have a health. That was not the objective. This is all on the side distractions. This is just for us to live life. So we are tested. Are we able to keep up with all what is on the sides and do what we are needing to do? Especially for Smileys, because we have come with Imam. Humans, those who are not smiley, they are distracted by whatever is in the sides, and that is their main objective of life. For Smiley, that is not. Along with that, there is more riyazat to recognize the Imam. And that is the beauty, because that is the taqwa, that is the expectations. And Alhamdulillah, we are those lucky ones, I would say we are those blessed ones that we are working towards that journey to recognize the Imam. Because with ilm, Imam is hidden in ilm. His recognition is hidden in ilm. The more we get this understanding, the more we'll become pious. Exactly what it said in this paragraph. The way, if we were to continue to attain smaller goals to get to taqwa, our iman will become mature. And when iman becomes mature, automatically we will be having more knowledge and understanding, more comprehension, to the extent that we will be with Imam becoming perfect humans. It is all possible for Smiley Momin Salik. Ji, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that Ginan in the share. Thank you.
Shukramala, Shukramala. जी गुलजार साहब.
भाई माँ एक रिक्वेस्ट है, वो सी हरफी की एक स्टोरी है फरीदुद्दीन अत्तार की 30 बर्ड्स की, वो एक बार बाबा आप समझाना ना तावील के साथ, जब भी आपको समझाना है।
इंशाल्लाह उसकी बहुत सेशन हो चुके हैं। इंशाल्लाह इंशाल्लाह, व्हाई नॉट। जिंदगी बहुत लंबी
उसकी
है, क्या
रिकॉर्डिंग
करेंगे।
है कभी जाना नवीन साहिबा।
Inshallah. Friends, if you have any questions, you can come forward. If no questions, we'll take one comment and inshallah we'll end the session. So if you want to come forward with a comment, what was the most favorite thing from the session for you, which touched your heart?
Can I say something?
Ji.
So, just a comment, like, how one physically departs from this world and we say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. In the same manner, we have to return to Allah's soul every day. And I think we should keep that in mind, that where we came from and where we have to return. And if we keep that principle in our mind, then I think the principle of taqwa gets more easy in day by day cases.
Subhanallah. Thank you for sharing that thought.
Thank you.
Shukran lillah walhamdulillah. Shukran lillah walhamdulillah. Thank you, Niamat Saiba, for a wonderful session. Thank you, friends, for joining. Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali
Yeah,
Madad,
thank you so much.
Yani madad.
Ya Ali Madad,
يا لمداد
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad,
يا لمداد
Ya Ali Madad,
Ya Ali
Karima,
Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
Thank you, Bahma. Yani madad.
Ya Ali Madad.